Visiting a woman's house to beat them with a twig. Giving a shark a shout out. Throwing dog food at a married couple? That all might sound very weird to you, but remember, one person's weird is another person's normal. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 surprising cultural practices that'll shock you. 25. Maasai blood drinking. While blood is consumed around the world in foods such as blood sausage, there are cultures who drink it straight from the source. The Maasai people of Tanzania and Kenya find raw cow blood a good source of protein and a health booster. They carefully extract this blood from a live animal in small batches using arrows. The wound is then patched up, and the animal can go on its way until the next drinking session. Apparently, this takes place every month. Though I wonder how the cow feels about this. 24. Dani tribe finger cutting. Known as ikipeleg, this painful-sounding practice is performed by the Dani tribe of Western New Guinea. Grieving women agree to have their upper finger severed following the death of a loved one. This brutal act is thought to protect families against dark forces. Ikipeleg may be an ancient tradition, however, a news report from 2019 showed that it still goes on. Another name for it is ikipalin, and it's been outlawed by the Indonesian government. 23. Toraja death ritual. Saying goodbye to a member of the community is a sad time. But would you want their body hanging around long after they died? That's what the Toraja people on the island of South Sulawesi do. Mummifying and preserving the departed because they believe the soul doesn't make a move right away. They continue to give them food. You might even see a corpse being offered a cigarette. No thanks, I'm actually trying to cut down. Actually, there's a practical reason for this too, in that the Torajans are saving up money for a funeral. 22. Easter whip. That sounds delicious! All joking aside, this is a playful and violent tradition from across Europe. In the Czech Republic, for example, you'll see a handcrafted whip come out on Easter Monday. The decorated pomlázka is up to 2 meters long and made from branches and twigs. If you're a woman and you answer the door on this special day, there's a good chance you're in for a whipping. Though not a medieval style one, you'll be glad to hear. It's more of a fun ritual. The ladies can have their own entertainment by throwing water onto the menfolk. 21. Mursi lip plates. Women of the Mursi tribe in Ethiopia have large wooden plates inserted into their mouth as part of a ritual honoring their husband and community. When the husband passes away, the plate is taken out. So, how do they fit the plate in the first place? Unsurprisingly, it's a painful process lasting several months, with girls having a hole cut in their lip during their teenage years. Objects of increasing size are then positioned, which stretch the mouth wider and wider over time. 20. Malagasy Famadihana. The Malagasy people of Madagascar aren't shy of digging up old memories. They dig up old bones also, with officially approved tomb raiding taking place. Why do they do this? Well, they're actually making a party of sorts. Famadihana means the turning of the bones, or alternatively, the feast of the dead. It sounds like a right old shindig, with drinking and dancing to celebrate their ancestral line. The celebration takes place every 5 to 7 years. These precious human remains even get a nice fresh shroud before being placed back in the ground. 19. Kanamara Matsuri. In Japan, people have an unusual way of guarding against sexually transmitted diseases. They visit the Kanayama shrine in the city of Kawasaki. Here they find a penis made of steel which should answer their prayers, courtesy of the god and goddess Kanayama Hiko and Kanayama Hine. No, you have not gone into a coma. These are actual events that happen in the world. It's all part of a religious festival named after the metallic member, and it covers more than STDs. You can also pray for a happy relationship. By the way, the image of a steel penis comes from a legend where a woman battled a vagina demon who ate unsuspecting wangs. So, I hope that clarifies things. 18. Maasai tribal spitting. The Maasai people may cause alarm by spitting in someone's hand and even spitting on babies. This isn't an insult. They're actually showing deep respect and even a desire for the little one to thrive. You should feel blessed, despite an urge to recoil. Also, ignore any bad mouthing the tribe may do about the baby. This is to encourage good vibes because they feel compliments may lead to bad luck. 17. Faroe Island marine killings. Animal lovers on a vacation might want to give the Faroe Islands in the Northeast Atlantic a swerve. Here, whales and dolphins are openly hunted and, well, viciously so. Groups are moved to the shore where a bloody fate involving hooks and blades awaits them. Why on earth does this happen? Islanders don't see it as a big deal because they're simply catching a local source of food. I guess to them it's like someone shouting at us for landing a tuna fish. 16. These bridges are alive. The root cause of this extraordinary tradition is roots. Over in the northeast Indian state of Meghalaya, ficus tree roots are painstakingly grown and woven together to create a strong structure, reportedly capable of holding approximately 50 people in some cases. The indigenous people sure are ingenious, but how exactly does it work? The trees are planted on opposite sides and manipulated till they grow and meet halfway. And if you were hoping to get across that river quickly, well, you're out of luck. These bridges can take as long as 25 years to complete. 15. Papua New Guinea shark bait. Usually you want sharks to swim, away from you. However, things are different in the village of Kachuu in Papua New Guinea. Here, brave shark callers venture out to lure and meet the predators of the sea head on. Not only do they have a deep ancestral connection with the sharks that apparently protects them, but they also want to kill the sharks for their meat as a form of sacrifice. In the run-up to the rituals, the shark callers can only eat certain things, and whatever they do, they have to stay away from the local women. 14. Ganges cremation. A popular way of scattering someone's ashes is on the 2,500 kilometer long Ganges River in India. It's believed that doing this helps the soul avoid reincarnation and go on to find enlightenment, or moksha. This happens with whole bodies too. What's surprising here is that reincarnation is seen as a bad thing. I guess it depends what you're reincarnated as. A frog? I can get on board with that. An estate agent? Not so much. 13. Kachuu kidnapping. Some traditions are truly disturbing. Kachuu, translated as to take a young woman and run away, is a wedding-related ritual with a disturbing history. Snatching someone and putting them in a position where their reputation is damaged and they have no option but to marry their kidnapper is just one horror story connected to the practice. It reportedly takes place in Kyrgyzstan, among other locations. In fact, it's been stated that half the marriages there are down to Kachuu. It can be consensual, but that doesn't make me feel any better. 12. Monkey buffet. Over in Bangkok, they treat their macaque monkeys once a year with a special festival. The monkey buffet sees a ton of fruit and vegetables left out for the cheeky scavengers to swing in and grab. Surely this is asking for trouble because monkeys have a rep for stealing people's food and expensive cameras and such. Though I should say there is a strong religious angle here. The festival honors god Hanuman, who the macaques are said to be descended from. 11. Mummifying yourself in Japan. For some religious types, the secret to living forever is becoming a mummy. This is the surprising story of Buddhist monks who were inspired by Kukai or Kobodaishi. He passed away in the year 835, only it's believed he didn't die and will come back in a few million years. Fast forward to 1083, and members of the Shingo sect he founded made the decision to begin mummifying themselves. This involved a special diet based on foraging for food and drinking toxic tea made from tree bark. The monks mummified themselves up to 1903, and approximately 17 are thought to have had a successful mummification. 10. Mexico's Night of Radishes. In the build-up to Christmas, the people of Oaxaca City in Mexico are thinking about radishes rather than ornaments. How come? It's part of a yearly event where expert carvers produce eye-catching creations from the famous red vegetable. Yep, radish sculpture. You really do learn all kinds of things on this channel. The competitive activity brings a lot of publicity to the area. 9. Scottish bride blackening. Nothing says happy engagement better than covering a couple in unpleasant stuff like fish guts and dog food. The tradition of blackening the bride happens in Scotland and dates back to the 19th century. It's called blackening because back then a bride would have coal soot put on her feet as part of a cleansing ritual. Over the years, it's gotten more and more extreme. Fun fact, the blackening of the bride is one of the first things I ever talked about in my very first List 25 video. Check that out. Throw that up here. Whoever, throw it up here. 25, what is it? Wedding rituals from around the world. I think the very first List 25 video ever that I narrated. Oh, the blackening of the bride. Anyway. 8. Lulala. Would you say your toilet is so clean you could eat your dinner off it? It's an old expression, but in France, they take it way too far. Newly married couples are made to eat things straight from the bowl. Or their tormentors use a chamber pot, which I guess is more convenient. The idea is to give the lovers stamina. Stamina in a life-threatening infection. 7. Filipino atang. The Ilocano people are based on the island of Luzon in the Philippines. Their surprising tradition is atang, a practice where a dead person is provided with food. Not only does this appease evil spirits wishing to cause harm, it also shows respect and honor to the dearly departed. 6. Red ink tattoos of New Zealand. Have you ever seen a tattoo created with red ink? This cultural practice is connected to the ancient Egyptians, Asian history, and the Maori. There isn't any one meaning to the red ink tattoos either. For the Maori, it means respecting the dead. Go over to Japan, however, and a red ink tattoo might be found on a Yakuza crime family member. It can mean life and love. It could also mean something deeper and darker. 5. Bhutan night hunt. The night hunt is a long-held courtship ritual where a guy will walk up to a girl, ask where she lives, and then drop by for some romance. And maybe some action when the sun goes down. It sounds pretty weird by today's standards. Plus the name night hunt doesn't help. The traditional name is Bamena, translating as going toward a girl. As you can imagine, the practice has a sinister side, with men taking advantage of the situation. Bamena is the ultimate example of don't ask, don't get. Probably best to just, ask for someone's number though. 4. Malaysian piercings. In Malaysia, there's a Hindu New Year's festival called Thaipusam. This is where the almighty Lord Murugan is called upon to provide worshippers with a happy and healthy 12 months. Let's break the name Thaipusam down to its two parts. The first part means Thai, and Pusam translates to when the moon is at its brightest. Why is this festival so surprising? Because some choose to inflict a lot of pain on themselves as part of the event. Walking on hot coals and piercing your tongue are just two examples. This is done partly to purge any sins. Ouch. I'll stick to Yom Kippur. No walking on coals for Yom Kippur. 3. Mentawai teeth sharpening. Beauty ideals are certainly shocking in the Mentawai culture of Indonesia. The young women there perform extreme dentistry in order to look a certain way. Their teeth are sharpened using rocks and chisels. Whew. And I thought root canal surgery was hell on earth. Still, it's a sacred tradition to them. Plus, tooth sharpening has been observed in various cultures. 2. Chinese foot binding. In ancient China, a tradition started that turned women's feet into tiny doll-like things on the end of their legs. Foot binding, as the legend goes, dates back to the 10th century. The feet are basically crushed into a petite and painful shape. They're also referred to as lotus feet due to the dancer who reportedly invented the craze performing her moves in a big gold lotus flower. Gauze is used for binding, and the practice was only made illegal in 1912. Even so, it continued being practiced until at least 1957. 1. Endocannibalism of the Yanomami. Endocannibalism is just like regular cannibalism, if there is such a thing, only you're eating people you know. Family members or fellow tribespeople. The Yanomami people of South America practice this gruesome ritual. Instead of a straightforward burial, they will cook and consume the body of the deceased, including the bones. To them, it's necessary in order for the person's soul to find peace. Well, that's it for our list of surprising cultural practices that'll shock you. And, now that I've done that, are you ready to have your childhood ruined? Our next video will do that right here. Click on the link and I'll be back for more traumatic fun next time with a whole new list. And also down below, let me know what's some weird cultural practices from your neck of the woods. And I'll see you next time.